Now there's just two Wolverines in the fucking X jet. It fucked up now.
And welcome to the Barely Coherent Podcast. I'm the Grizz and your host. He is one of those low-down fools that somehow thinks that the Recess kids would take on the Hey Arnold kids in some sort of street gang warfare. Sonny B, William Weisinger.
Wow, I thought you were gonna give me like some kind of cool, classy, introduction, and you just start off attacking me, which is wild because you're wrong. But it's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
It's okay to be wrong.
It is, and I can't wait for you to accept that fact later in the podcast. But that being said, Sonny B, other than some laying down some heresy against the Harold kids, how have you been?
Good. Staying busy. Hopefully kind of got like a verbal confirmation about running trivia at a local bar. So
running it.
Yeah. The owner, I went in for a post-work beer, as one does. And started chatting with the owner, and he was like, I'm thinking about getting some trivia started. And I was like, well, it's funny you should say that because I love trivia. So I think that I could possibly be able to run some trivia here for you. And he said, well, get your stuff together and let me know, and we'll try it out. So in the near future, coming to a bar, nowhere near any of you, I may be running trivia.
What is your price for potential answers to said trivia questions?
Probably like 2 beers, honestly. Yeah. Maybe like a beer and a double pour of a scotch. I don't know. I'm a simple man.
Get you a little sauced up, and
yeah,
like the spies of old get my answers from you.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean,
because we got to keep the cover. You can't just give them straight out to me. You need some plausible deniability if you get caught.
Dead drops, false phones. I don't know. Whatever spies do. I've never been a spy. In case anyone was wondering, I don't know. So, yeah, man, pretty pumped. What's been going on in the world of the Grizz?
Not a whole lot has happened. Just the normal things. I did, however, hear back from a potential job opportunity for my life outside of the military, which is pretty exciting stuff.
Yes, as us military folk know.
Yeah, well, being able to secure a job prior to getting out is a pretty rare thing for anybody that's paid attention to. Hold on. How did you get that? God damn it, Hank. For anybody that's watching, Hank has found a thumb drive that actually has some important stuff on it and is trying to chew it, and he's underneath the desk and I can't reach him.
Yeah, I mean that's Hank's now. So those are his important files.
Well, where did it go?
Did he swallow it?
Oh, I've trapped it underneath my shoe.
Perfect.
Aha! All right. Back to the podcast. Anyway, so other than Hank eating things, we haven't do the normal puppy thing of prying his jaws open like I'm King Kong fighting the T-Rexes.
Yes. A classic scene.
Yeah. Yeah, other than that, nothing hugely important's been going on. But
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, as every dog owner knows, there will be times where your dog is either extremely quiet or making that telltale sound, and you're like, what are you doing? And then they look at you and they run like a fucking criminal, even if they're not doing anything.
Yeah. He also I bought him a new Halloween themed toy, right? Is
Ooh.
excited for him with a little squeaker in it. It's a giant. It was
Okay.
an
Okay.
eyeball with a squeaker, right? He was
Oh, I
really
like
into
that.
it, and it took him about 2 minutes to just say "fuck it," tear it open just
Hmm.
enough to that he
Hmm.
could dig the squeaker out and run away with the squeaker, and has not touched the toy since.
Yes. I mean, really, how can you simulate a dead animal without the squeaker?
Yeah,
So, you know, um, yeah, my dogs actually don't get um, really, they don't get toys with fuzz in them anymore
yeah.
because,
That's about to be enacted here at the Grills household
yeah,
as well.
yeah. There's nothing worse than like standing up from your couch and being like, I have to pick up all this fuzz.
Yeah.
And
Was
there's
also
literally piles of fuzz everywhere.
Yeah, he piles it up in the backyard in the tall grass. So every time I go to mow it, I just hit a patch where white fuzz just comes shooting out. So
Oh, Hank.
yeah, just normal pump shenanigans. For those audio only listeners, if you can't tell, but I busted out the Ouija. I believe you went to a séance, Sonny, and between our combined efforts, we were not able to contact Snowy from the ethereal plane. Uh,
So I think it's time to come clean with our listeners. The official story is that Snowiest Beest, Snowy B for short, um, was killed in a terrible sea ice accident. Uh, when in reality, he is a top special agent for the CIA. And without revealing too much, he is currently on mission in a place that cannot be named. So uh, our our prayers go out to him that he do remain safe, so that he can be on another episode of the Barely Coherent podcast.
it cannot be named for several reasons. One, it is a top secret assignment. Two, neither of us can pronounce it. And
That does
this,
not narrow the list.
yes, this will tie in to the script and screenplay that we're submitting to Netflix called Ghost Spy, about a ghost who is in fact a spy for the CIA.
I am almost certain we can get that approved. And
Have
now that
you?
the writer's strike is over, I mean, I'm very comfortable, you know,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
having some writers work on that for us.
If you have seen anything that has come out on Netflix within the past couple months, 100% Ghost Spy
Yeah.
can get greenlit. If not, I am sure Amazon would be more than happy
Dude,
to dump
honestly,
a
I
bunch of
mean,
money into it.
let's fucking do it.
Yeah,
It's on the bucket list. Let's get it done.
yeah. Ghost Spy. I'm pretty sure all we have to do is walk into Netflix headquarters and just
Just
what's your pitch, and just Ghost Spy, a ghost that is a
just say
spy,
that.
and they would greenlight it for like 3
Oh my
seasons.
gosh. I mean, they would greenlight it for 3 seasons, but they would cancel it halfway through the first season, especially if the ratings are really good.
Yeah.
So,
What
yeah.
who would play Ghost Spy?
That is a good question. I mean, because we're talking about potentially the story of Sunny B.
Yeah.
Uh,
We can't go. So initially I was saying we could go the route of Altered Carbon, but that didn't play out so well because he's a ghost spy, so you could possess people. So you could have different main actors, but it didn't work out super well for Altered Carbon.
I, I, I mean, if we can, for a moment, um, I really enjoyed the second season of Altered Carbon. So,
I did
but
as
I've also
well.
never read the books or like any of the other media for it.
Uh
So,
the second book was not great in my opinion.
that's the worst, man.
Yeah, the first book was amazing.
Okay,
If you have
okay,
not read the first Altered Carbon book, it is 100% worth the read. And then it's one of those shows where like some of the changes that they made, a bulk of the changes that they made, you could tell were done for budgetary reasons. Yes, I know he wants outside. They're made for budgetary reasons, like because there's a lot of stuff where it's like robots doing stuff, and that's a
yeah,
lot of like CGI
yep,
on
yep.
top.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So. Also, they couldn't
yeah,
secure the right. So in the book, to get into the weeds for people who don't care, uh, in the book, the hotel is the Hendrix, not the
I don't remember what it was
Edgar
called.
Allan Poe themed
Yes,
hotel. Uh, so it's called the Hendrix and has Jimi Hendrix instead, but they couldn't get the rights
They wouldn't give
to
him the
Jimi
rights. Come
Hendrix.
on,
Yeah.
man. Come
So
on.
personally, as somebody who read the
Personal.
book,
Uh-huh.
I liked the Edgar Allan Poe themed a lot better.
So I mean that's kind of something that we've talked about a little bit in the past is like um not really in depth, but like changes to media to, not only to fit a narrative, but also for reasons that are outside of storytelling, which is like you can't get the rights to something because I mean the odds of you creating something absolutely brand fucking new that no one has ever seen before or done before are pretty slim, and there's lots of variation, but like, you do what you got to do to make your story work. So, yeah, man. I mean, I liked it. I obviously, like I said, I never read the book, so but I enjoyed the theme, you know, of the hotel.
Yeah, I think Altered Carbon, with like how the main character is in a different body in every story,
Mhm.
is one of those things that's hard to pull off uh,
Yeah,
in television media. Um,
yeah. So the what's it? Joel McKinnon.
Joel
What's his name?
McKinnon.
No, his name is Kinnaman. Joel
Yeah,
Kinnaman.
yeah,
Shish. He had the benefit of being the first, right?
and he did really
So
well.
he did a good job. But then you have, Anthony Mackie following afterwards, and I think he definitely nailed a lot of the personality um, kind of quirks. But for
It's
us, it's hard to like
it's
imagine that being the same person.
yeah, like I said, it works well in a book.
Hmm.
But even if they're acting the exact same way, it's hard to be like, yes, that's the same person.
Right? It's like kind of like Face Off.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
yeah. So uh, look out for Ghost Spy
yes, Ghost
coming to a
Spy.
streaming service near you. As long as we can keep it off Tubi, because I feel like that's
You
where
don't like Tubi?
I've never used it.
Me either. There's too many services right now. That's nothing. Uh, I know we're on some tangents right now. We got plenty of time, but let's be clear: the fact that in probably less than a decade, we went from fuck cable. I'm gonna go to streaming service. It's gonna be great. I won't be able to watch the 6 o'clock news, but I'm a millennial, so I don't really give a fuck about the news anyway. Um, I can watch shows, I can watch movies. It's not gonna have everything, but I'll make it work because it's $7.99, and I can watch it anywhere, and it's fucking great. Are you fucking like now? Where are we? What's going on? What's
Yeah.
happening, bro? Literally
As
every streaming service
as a millennial, I get my news given
from
to
TikTok.
me from TikTok from three different places. From somebody who sits under their desk and tells me the news.
I love her though. She's
Yeah.
great.
To somebody cosplaying as, which it took me way too long to get the correlation between the two, but is cosplaying as Polly Pocket.
Dude, the Pocket Report.
Yeah,
Let me just say, I'm sorry. The Pocket Report is an amazing news source.
it is.
I,
It took me a full like 5 months to realize that it was a pocket report, and her name was
yes,
Polly because Polly Pocket because of
Polly Pocket.
yeah.
Yes,
And
it's okay.
then somehow
Uh huh.
the news fish from SpongeBob.
Oh, dude, his news is good though.
I
His news
know,
is good, and
but
he gives it to you
yeah,
quick.
that's why I like it. But like, how it's who would have thought that in 2023
Hmm.
those would be like the three biggest places to get news? Like, timely news would be an
Well,
animated
yeah,
fish
but it's
on your
great. So,
phone.
like God, I've talked about this a lot. TikTok in and of itself is absolutely fucking ridiculous, right? As an app, it's literally just a fire hose of bullshit, right? But what it has given us is the ability to receive information in a small and expedited way that is effective. And so, like, you can go to TikTok, and if you have people who are covering the news, they will give you the headlines for the stories, and you can get like unbiased news. I mean, you really can. So I don't really
I,
see a problem with it.
I think the amount of viewpoints that you can get, like someone like me, uh, who because of my interests and hobbies, for some reason, TikTok keeps trying to push me to the right of
Mm,
where I
hmm
really want to
hmm
be. But I
hmm
do get a lot of alternate viewpoints,
mm.
and I appreciate it to an extent. I just wish that TikTok would understand that just because
It was the
I'm
jet meme. It was
yeah
the jet meme that did
yeah
it for you.
it was the amount of like far right followers that I got on TikTok because of the
Oh
jet
my
meme,
gosh.
like, and then the other thing that I posted got me a lot of like horny moms off book talk, and I can't
Oh
wait
no.
for all of those people to realize that this is what's running the account.
What did you do? I have okay. Well, now I have to go find your most recent TikTok. I feel
Yeah,
like a bad friend now. Just so we're clear. Like,
it's two Marines doing Marine things.
oh no, never mind. I did see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow that made it to horny mom book talk and got me a bunch of followers and views.
Congrats. I
And
mean, you might as well use them for something.
yeah, I mean, they cause
Like,
me enough stress as it is. I might as well get
we
something
should
positive
do
out of it.
we should do a whole episode of you telling stories about the students that you had to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that would be fun.
That might also be a Netflix short. Along like, I know Vet TV kind of already does the same thing, but just like
Hmm
a series of just like not related characters, but just stories of my time in a Marine squadron
There you go, man. It'll be
and the
like
things that
what's
have happened.
the little the cartoon thing on
Love, Death, and
Netflix.
Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots, which we love here
Yeah,
on the Barely Coherent podcast. But I mean, if you could just do like short stories
yeah.
of the bullshit, I'm not gonna lie, it
uh,
might be worth that upcharge Netflix is slinging my way.
yeah.
Did, did you hear about? Did you hear about Prime Video? Not
No.
only are they raising their prices, but they're also adding commercials. Why would I pay you and watch commercials, man? I'll just go to cable. I'll just go to cable.
Look, Jeff Bezos needs to fly himself to space again.
Oh
All
Jesus!
right. Um,
Oh,
and I think he's got an eye on like another. They did not knock down enough bridges in fucking Norway when they were
oh
building his
yeah,
yacht.
for his yacht.
So he needs a bigger yacht because I think a bridge or two survived.
Um, it's just mind blowing to me that like
He is literally a supervillain, which this is a great segue. He is literally a supervillain from like the 60s
Bond.
fucking no Justice League like cartoons.
He's
Fucking
Lex Luthor. He's
yeah.
fucking Lex
Literally
Luthor.
like I'm sure there was a plot on like the old 60s like fucking Superman and Friends or whatever the fuck it was
Oh, the
called.
Super Friends, the
Yeah, the
Super Friends
Super
show.
Friends, where Lex Luthor bought a yacht and like knocked down some historic bridges or something, or had to knock
Oh
down
my,
a national monument to build, a statue to himself.
yeah,
That's literally Jeff Bezos
absolutely.
right now.
I
It is
like
wild to me.
he has so much money. So I was at work and I will say maybe tasteless. I don't know. I have I have no class. I made a joke about a couple millionaires in a submarine. Huh. Some people balked at that. I don't know, but I'm gonna continue along that same line. And if Jeff Bezos goes to space, I'm gonna be honest. I hope he doesn't come back because fuck him. So we can
Talking
have.
about millionaires dying, I'm still surprised that Dianne Feinstein's aides aren't trying to weekend and Bernie
Oh
her ass through like the rest of her
my
term.
god, dude! I saw like a list of things that Diane
Just like
Feinstein is older than.
yeah,
I think
Dianne
sliced
Feinstein,
bread was
dude.
one of these.
Yeah, somebody pointed out that like her high school teacher was born in the 1800s.
She was so old.
She's older than World War II.
She is. She is. She was alive before the Great War,
Yeah.
the last Great War, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, she was old enough to allow the raising of a Confederate flag and not see a problem with it.
I mean, there's a lot of people in Congress that are old enough for that.
Yeah,
Uh, See, this is why we need a guy like
a
off
tech
to the
guy.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
old fucking
because I
Joe
want to.
Rogan style.
Well, yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know. I
that's
also
the
don't know how to spell Diane Feinstein.
that's that's also the dream, though, right? Is to get popular enough that we can just sit in a room, make somebody else Google shit, and like smoke DMT.
I mean, yeah, for sure, man. Like, oh, I think I found it. Hold on. Sorry, you're watching this happen live.
Live,
That Diane
riveting content.
Feinstein is older than. Let's see if anything comes up. Give us a list. Give us a list. Um, no, it's all gonna be like, oh, what she did and her remembering how Diane Feinstein life changed 40 years ago. I don't.
Nobody fucking cares.
Okay, well, I'll have to find it later. I need to start writing down the things that I'm supposed to post later too.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
I feel so
back
bad.
on topic. So talking about cartoons, right? The whole point of this episode was to get a little
Mm-hmm.
nostalgic about the cartoons from our childhood. We would do the cartoons of today, but other than me watching Bluey because I was watching somebody's kids, I haven't seen any modern cartoons for children.
Just so we're clear, Bluey is an amazing
Oh no, it
TV
is.
show.
I had a
Um,
great time. Also, it's
yeah,
specifically done in colors so dogs can see it.
I know, which is great. There's a lot of great things about Bluey.
Yeah.
That's not what we're here to talk about, but we can always give a shout out. Love Australian cartoons, I guess. Well,
And women.
the only one I've ever seen.
Yes, that
I,
too.
I cannot concur with that
Anyway,
for legal reasons.
for wifey reasons.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get into any heated debates about, uh, you know,
A
animated children,
debate insinuates both sides have a chance.
um, it doesn't. But okay. Anyway, um, so what is like the first like cartoon that you can remember, like getting up on Saturday and being like, I can't wait to watch this.
Pokemon.
Really? Okay.
Yes. The first cartoon, and it's because I have a distinct memory of this, but the first cartoon that I can remember waking up regularly, because it's I had to wake up so that I could watch it before school starts, and the only reason my dad was okay with it was because it got me out of bed, so I wouldn't be late for school. Was to watch Pokemon. That's the
Hey, we'll take it.
first cartoon I can remember being really, really excited for.
I mean,
I had the show soundtrack on CD.
it's a dope song. If we're being
Yeah.
honest,
Uh,
come on.
yeah. I distinctly remember watching that show and being absolutely obsessed with it. Uh, and not, just I just thought it was great.
I mean, absolutely, man.
It's to the point that like I even got my dad to buy me some of the manga that Pokemon was based off of.
Really?
So yeah.
Never seen that.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's definitely meant for a different age bracket.
Duly noted, like most manga. Okay.
Yeah. If you thought Brock was perverted in the cartoon, the whole manga is just like Brock wrote it.
Oh Jesus.
It's
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Did you Google it?
No, but I am going to later.
Yeah. Other than Pokemon, I think the other cartoon I didn't have to like wake up to go on and watch it, but that I was really into for some reason was the old Scooby-Doo cartoon, like the original.
Okay. A classic for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was because my grandma was one of the first people to get DirecTV. And it
ever?
had that.
Like anywhere?
Yeah. No, just like she was an early adopter of it. So when I would be at her house on the weekends, for some reason she always put Boomerang on, which was the old. It was owned by Cartoon Network, but they only showed the classic cartoons. And they always showed the Scooby-Doo stuff because I guess my dad was really into it when he was a kid. That's why she wanted to have it on.
Interesting. Okay.
That and Speed Racer. My dad would sit there and we would watch
Metro
He had the
fucker.
entire series on DVDs or on cassette,
What?
and we would sit there and watch Speed Racer.
Oh my god. I mean, talk about like just ridiculous. The show makes no fucking sense.
No,
First of
it
all,
does.
like,
Would you watch
anybody
reruns of the
it's a
dub?
fever dream. It's a
Yeah,
fucking fever dream, dude.
yeah. But
It's
yeah,
crazy.
everybody's like, man, I wonder what really got you into anime. It's like, well, it's my
Speed Racer,
dad. Yeah, Speed Racer.
dude. Okay, well, did not. The man wears an ascot. Okay, I can't. I don't even actually know if it's an ascot. It's just like a scarf
Yeah,
on the side of his neck.
Fred wears an ascot,
Fred wears an ascot, but he's
which is
also
how you
trying to
know
fuck
he was
Daphne
not
the whole
tapping
time.
Daphne.
I don't know, man. He's trying.
No,
Me and
he's
Daphne are
trying to
gonna check
cover
out this
something,
spot.
is what he's trying to do.
Oh man,
No.
the old Scooby Doo is definitely good.
Because if he was a straight man, he would be trying to get Velma all jinkies. You know what I mean?
I don't know, that sweater dress is not super revealing, and wait, hold on, let's rewind for a second. Aren't they supposed to be like teenagers?
Yeah. So
They look like
the original like backstory that got lost about the whole Mystery Inc. gang was that
uh,
they were a traveling band.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were a
It makes
traveling
sense.
band, but that storyline kind of went to the wayside because there was because originally popped up. I don't know if it was originally, but they did crossovers with like the Josie and the
Josie and the
Pussycats
Pussycats. Yeah.
cartoon, and then whatever weird fever dream of a cartoon had that shark that played the drums. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
dude. Yeah. What? Okay. Well, I'm gonna have the tech guy look that up real quick.
Yeah.
Um,
So that was all like a shared universe. Which I guess if you're gonna have a talking Great Dane, you can have a shark that plays the drums.
yeah, Scooby talked a lot, and everyone
Yeah.
was just kind of okay with it.
Yeah. I still like the fan theory that he didn't talk a lot. Shaggy just thought he did because he was high the whole time.
Jabberjaw.
Yeah, Jabberjaw. That was it. So I
Jabberjaw.
think they're all supposed to be part of like the same shared universe. Like I could be wrong,
I
but
mean, the art looks
well, because
like almost the
they're all
same.
Hanna Barbera cartoons.
Yeah. Well, I'll be damned. Look
Hmm.
at us
So we're really
talking
digging out
true.
some memories. I forgot Jabberjaw was a thing until just now.
Yeah, that's kind of
Uh,
wild,
yeah.
honestly.
Uh, So, but yeah, and then I think the most modern adult not cartoons I've watched, but definitely aren't was Adventure Time.
Yeah, a
Uh,
lot of people like Adventure Time. It's
it's great. I've accepted that if I ever somehow lose a limb, like I get it amputated,
mhm.
I the tattoo I want for it is the lemon head dude saying unacceptable condition and pointing at whatever limb is
Unacceptable.
missing.
I love that. Unacceptable.
Condition. I scream that at work all the time.
Actually, I do too, and no one thinks it's funny because I work with a bunch of adults, which is
Yeah.
whack.
So
I also love the Bacon Pancake song.
yeah,
I catch myself singing it on a regular
I
basis.
sing it all the time when I'm making actual pancakes.
Making pancakes, making bacon
Making
pancakes.
pancakes. What about you? What cartoon did you remember getting? Crawling out of your little hidey hole or whatever sun bears live in and
Uh,
pulling up on the
we live
TV.
in we live in caves in Southeast Asia. Um,
It's a land of
Service is
country in
not great.
Southeast Asia.
Love that.
Uh,
Um, so I think for us, um, because I have a younger brother, and so we watch cartoons together a lot. I definitely remember watching like um, what would have to have been like reruns of SWAT Cats
oh
uh,
yeah.
on Cartoon Network, um, and the animated Ninja Turtles TV show. It's just so good. I mean, I think I was obsessed with Ninja Turtles for a long time. How could you not be, right? And
Oh
then
yeah.
the '90s movie came out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I mean, my first ever live action adaptation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
then it knocked it out of the park.
I think, honestly, probably like the best. You
Yeah.
know, it's just
Uh, and then was it because I sent you that meme where it was like, what was the one live concert you would attend if you could? And it was the
oh
one from the second Ninja Turtles with
yeah, with Vanilla
Vanilla.
Ice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go
Go
Turtles, go!
Ninja, go
Yeah.
Ninja, go Ninja, go! Oh
Uh,
Jesus, I hit my
Talking
microphone.
about
Sorry.
that era cartoons, you know what
Okay.
cartoon had like the sickest intro and almost had no business having that intro, but it was a great cartoon? Was the
Mm.
original X-Men cartoon.
Oh, straight fucking banger, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can play that right now in the car. It's a children's TV show.
Yeah. But it's you would watch that when it come out as a kid and you're just like,
Oh my god,
you
you're
know.
so hype.
Yeah.
Um,
They're not remaking it, they are continuing it with modern animation
yes,
apparently
I saw
on
that. I
Disney
saw
Plus.
that.
And it's probably one of the newest things I've been excited for. Disney,
I
please don't screw it.
I I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath, but
No.
the so this is kind of a little off topic, but I saw a meme at some point that said if I remember it correctly, it said, "Who's your favorite X-Men? And if you're a black guy married to a white woman, why is it Cyclops?" And I was, I was like, ah, that felt a little bit like an attack. I don't know, but it's true.
It's
I mean, for a long time, Cyclops was definitely my favorite X-Men.
he is
Leader of the
definitely
team.
um he was way cooler in that show than he was in any of the movies, which is a little frustrating because they just make him seem like a fucking dweeb in the
Yeah, which
actual
is ironic
movies.
because in the comics, he is not a dweeb.
No,
He's an absolute thug in the comics.
it's
Like
because the movies were written by people like me whose favorite X-Men is Wolverine.
they spent all their juju on casting, um,
Uh,
Jesus Christ, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I think I just had a small stroke.
yeah, it's fine because you couldn't remember the name, and I was like, I know this one, and I also spaced.
Aren't you half Australian? You should know this.
No,
Oh,
uh,
family in Australia
I do.
counts for something.
So yeah, uh, the short king superhero because in the
Mm-hmm,
comics
mm-hmm.
Wolverine's like 5'3".
Yeah, he's Canadian and short
Yeah,
and very angry all the time.
and for his initial introduction was an actual Wolverine that had mutated into a human type form.
I'm sorry, I just thought of like someone like putting a Wolverine in like an X-Men outfit. It's all torn up.
He has superpowers. No, it's just a pissed off animal.
They just chuck him at people.
Yeah, talking about like random superhero facts. It's like the Hulk originally, his power wasn't that he got angry. His original palette was gray because he only turned into the Hulk in a full moon. It was like some sort of angry, not wolf, like werewolf thing.
What? That
Yeah,
sounds terrible. I'm glad they
yeah.
moved away from that.
I'm glad Wolverine's not an actual Wolverine.
I don't know. That one is kind of. I'm liking that one a little bit. I mean, you have to admit that'd be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Wolverine, what do you think?
Logan, we can't do this. I'm in love with
I'm in love
Scott.
with Scott. I know you don't mean that. I mean,
Oh no, Rogue stole Wolverine's powers.
now there's just two Wolverines in the fucking X jet. It fucked up now.
Magneto doesn't know what the fuck. They just chuck him at Magneto.
For those of you who don't know, Wolverines are the largest weasel. they are absolutely terrifying. If I remember correctly, they don't weigh like any more than like males weigh like 50 pounds, maybe. They're about the size of a golden retriever, uh, and they are just absolute units. Um, they uh, there are 3 recorded cases. This is a little trivia for the gang. There are 3 recorded cases of wolverines killing polar bears, the largest land carnivore in the world. Now, in all 3 cases, the wolverine also died from its injuries. But yeah, there are 3 cases of wolverines killing polar bears, and that's a little shout out for Sunny B, or sorry, for Snowy B. So be careful out there. Wolverines are terrifying.
They are. We're still out on if actual Wolverines have adamantium claws or not.
I wouldn't test it,
No.
honestly. I mean, they're scary animals, and they smell bad because they're weasels.
So, are, are there any other cartoons that you currently
Yeah.
getting excited for
So I'm
other
gonna
than
counter your Pokemon with what I think is the best um, small monster, which is Digimon, digital monsters. Obviously not pocket monsters, but digital monsters. Um,
that
are,
aren't a device that goes in your pocket? But yes,
yes. I mean the footprint is smaller. I'm just saying. Uh, I love Digimon. The original season, like the first set of Digidestin, um, that show is just like unbeatable. I think, and it was like real anime. It felt like.
Digimon was our first experience into, was it Sennin anime where they like get knocked out and wake up in an alternate dimension that's similar to a video game?
I, I mean, yes, I didn't know it had a name.
It, it's a whole genre. It's usually full of, so if you get recommended a Sennin anime, be very, very careful because
Oh,
like
I can see
70
where
to
that would get
80% of the
really weird.
time, it's a very perverted uh,
Yeah.
anime series. So
Okay. Well.
Digimon is not though. And here's the thing about Digimon that I will give it because it was great, especially that first season was amazing.
Mhm.
Their evolutions were absolutely unhinged
Oh,
in the best ways possible.
he's digivolving.
Yeah. Whereas like you would have Pidgeot, right? Who would turn, or you'd have Pidgey that would turn into Pidgeot, that would turn into Pidgeot.
Pidgeot.
Uh
Pidgeot.
uh right, it was just like a bigger bird, just a bigger, more powerful bird, right? It would go along those lines. In
Just so we're
Digimon,
clear, that's not how all Poke
no,
evolutions work. But I
no,
see what you're
yeah,
selling.
yeah.
Okay. All
In
right.
Digimon, you would have this little like rabbit thing that turned into another rabbit thing that turned into a human lady with Gatling guns for arms. Basically, is how the evolution tree would work
So
for
let
Digimon.
me stop you right there. Okay. So yes, Patamon, the little like dumpling thing with bat ears, would then digivolve into Angemon, which, if we're being honest, it makes no sense. But whatever, man.
I'm
I'm not
not
here to judge.
I'm not hating. I said it was unhinged in the best way possible.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
like,
they
well, you get like Agumon, who is a small dinosaur,
yeah.
who then digivolves into Greymon, which is an enormous dinosaur, which then digivolves into Metal Greymon, uh, which is a giant dinosaur with rockets in its chest, to then digivolve into War Greymon, which was a humanoid esque dinosaur with wings. I don't know. It's just I don't make the rules, okay?
I think
But it's great.
they took the idea of these creatures evolving and did what Pokemon was too scared to do.
I mean, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I mean, Pokemon's like we're grounded in reality, and Digimon is like the fucking
Yeah. they're
unhinged
the they're the
fucking
weird kid in the corner huffing glue.
what is that
Just-
that Always Sunny with what is his Charlie
yeah.
is Charlie he's like with the strings and
Yeah.
the fucking that's what Digimon did and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. No, it's
Um
the evolutions definitely in Digimon, just even like their animations for the evolution just hit harder than Pokemon ever could.
yeah. And so like we kind of grew up with um like so many great cartoons because we had cartoons from across the pond, we had cartoons from here. I mean, we had like a plethora of animated shit to just tickle our little brain stems. Um, I mean, Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was a freaky fucking show.
It's the
Um,
stuff of nightmares. There's one that one episode with like the it like still scares me. With like that dude that like talked really weird.
we love
Like,
childhood trauma.
yeah.
Yes.
Uh man, what if do you remember Ren and Stimpy?
Of course, Ren and Stimpy was. I
Who
was not allowed to watch that.
Yeah.
It was
Neither was
fucked
I,
up.
understandably so. The other one that I watched but should not have been allowed to watch was Cow and Chicken.
Oh, dude, there was like another show with cow and chicken that was just crazy.
Yeah.
A baboon,
Yeah.
and like both of those shows were just like, what the? Can you imagine being a parent and walking in and there's just like a cow with butt cheeks, mind you, with like clearly drawn butt cheeks in like a tutu, dude. It's just like it was just like
There was an
everyone's on
episode of
drugs,
Cow and
man.
Chicken where they went to some party and it was a carpet muncher
Oh Jesus.
party.
How did
And
we not see this
the
before, man?
animators just drew like people eating carpet. But like
Oh my gosh. They don't make
and then
cartoons like that
no,
anymore.
and then there was Rocco's Modern Life.
Yes, where let me wait, I don't want to steal your thunder. Go ahead. You can tell
Well, it's
what
because
was
where
Rocco's
his
job?
job
Yeah.
was a sex phone operator.
He was a sex phone operator. That's an Australian show. Well, he
Yeah,
was a kangaroo.
he was not a kangaroo.
He's a wallaby. Sorry.
Yes. Uh,
I think Hank wants to come inside.
he he is looking at the trees and barking.
Is he really? I love it, dude.
Uh,
I'm glad Hank is part of the podcast now.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, just
dude, a lot
uh,
of the TV shows we watched were just totally fucking unhinged bullshit. I'm just realizing that.
yeah. The more you look back at it, it's the more, and it was all Nickelodeon. There was something going on
Oh,
at
us.
Nickelodeon where just absolutely unhinged shit was getting put out for children.
That's fucking. Are you sure it's at Nickelodeon?
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Let's have the tech guy look it up
Yeah.
real quick. Uh,
I know for a fact Rocco's Modern Life was.
yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I would like to talk about. Oh my god, I just searched cow and chicken.
Me too.
First of all, I'm gonna answer. It was on Cartoon Network, but the
Oh,
first
okay. Yeah, no,
image
I could. Yeah.
is of cow dressed up as a superhero, and her udders are sticking out of the fucking. Who let us watch this shit, man?
I just looked up the baboon.
Oh, baboon, man.
Yeah. And just his red ass cheeks, and he's sniffing his finger that he very
Yep.
obviously scratched his ass with.
Yeah, it's a no wonder we're fucked up individuals.
Yeah. I'm going to
Um.
take a break here to let Hank in really quick.
Okay. So
Ugh.
I've determined that the show was called I Am Weasel,
Yes.
which the name of the baboon is IR Baboon, but he was an integral part of the show. So point still stands. It's fucked
Yes.
up. Fucked up. um, we definitely can't talk about like, and at this point, it wasn't really childhood, but even some of the cartoons in our like early teenage years, uh, and then our early adult years, like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Classic.
uh, Korra, Avatar. What is it? Avatar: The Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, like Pokemon just ended um, this
Ash
year.
finally won a
Actually,
league.
yeah, it literally ended this year. Ash is like 30 something years old, but he looks like a child. So I don't
Yeah.
know what his skincare routine is, but good for him. Um,
Um, Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah, I mean, we had like
It's
a
it's
ton of
time
anime
to
shows.
do.
What another absolutely ridiculous fucking TV show. I mean, are we just gonna pretend like it's not weird that this fucking ancient pharaoh is using this child's body to play cards? You know, like some
But he's using the
questions.
heart of the cards, Joey.
I use pot of greed.
So one of the greatest
Team Four Star,
yeah.
the
Um
cell games.
yeah. God, what a great
Oh, that's another
YouTube
one.
series.
Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
was like integral
It was, and it
in
was
the community.
amazing. It's amazing how many people who aren't fans of anime grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. That's how
Yeah.
pervasive uh it is.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's there was another thing where somebody was talking about where it was like, some chick was like, I don't like dudes that watch anime. And he's like, do you like dudes that work out? Because I guarantee you every
Oh, I
single
saw
one
that.
of them has thought that I'm working out to be Goku.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a weird take, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh
But
yeah.
okay, let's get down to it. Right?
Let's
Let's
why
get
we're
to the
really
reason
here.
we're really here. And
Yeah.
the question, which, we will pose to the viewer, all like three of you. Um, who would win in an all out street brawl? The what I don't even know, the Hey Arnold kids. Uh don't they like live on us? They all live on the same street or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, or the kids from Recess. And I am a firm believer in TJ Detweiler and gang mopping the floor with that football headed fuck and his degenerate friends. So
Old old TJ and his soft little suburban fucking pampered little kids would get absolutely fucking stomped
and I
by
mean,
the
just so
inner
we're
city
clear,
kids of Hey Arnold.
we're talking all the kids at the school, all the kids. So I don't know,
I'm
man.
just
If you're putting them up against each other, I think there's casualties for sure. Gus, dead man for sure. Um, he's small. He wears glasses. He has a lot of heart, but he's so easy to break, you know. Um, but I just don't see them overcoming the abilities of Vince and Mikey. I mean, you're talking powerhouses. Not to mention, we're talking fifth graders also getting involved, right? We're talking kindergartners, which are absolutely feral. They had actual weapons. I don't know who approved that, but they're painted like natives. Maybe a bit problematic. We can talk about that in a different podcast. Fine, but Spinelli,
how
breaking her boot off, breaking her boot off,
Absolutely not.
and
Helga
Helga's ass.
would knock Spinelli out of those knockoff Doc Martens she'd be running around in.
Dude, you're talking crazy.
I'm not
And
talking crazy.
I need to see some feats. I need to see
Spinelli
some.
is the closest thing to a person of color that the Recess kids got.
That's not true. There's a black guy.
I think it's probably the same number of black guys in Hey Arnold, which is one.
Yeah, which we should probably, you know, that's
We could address that.
yeah. Yeah, but like, come on, man, come on, dog. I just I don't see it. I don't see it. Your guys don't got what it takes to be top of the schoolyard, bro.
I think Harold runs through most of the fucking Recess kids.
I'm telling you right now, Harold. Let's see what's gonna happen is Harold, first person. So Gus is gonna be on the front lines, military training. He's up there, right? Gus is up there. Harold comes barreling through, knocks Gus out. At that moment, Mikey snaps. Mikey snaps. And I'm telling you right now, Mikey, solid, bro, like a wall. You're not beating that. You're not gonna fucking beat it. I'm being upfront with you.
I'm trying to look up some from Hey Arnold, and the top search is Arnold from Hey Arnold Jewish.
Oh, so now it's a hate crime. Okay. Well.
I don't know why that's the top search.
Anti-Semitism, we do not support.
Harold. That's okay, that's a little bit problematic. Harold from Hey Arnold
Oh no.
is Jewish and a butcher.
Jesus Christ. How is he a butcher? He's a child.
I don't know.
He can't be a butcher. Oh my goodness, dude. Not to mention, you have, the absolute best tactician known to man,
So
TJ Detweiler.
here's the only the one downside that I will give it, right?
Mm.
Is Arnold from Hey Arnold would try to befriend the kids from Recess and see the better side of them. And
Mm-hmm.
I will give it to the Recess kids that they would not give a fuck about who Arnold is
No,
trying to be friends with.
ruthless, dude. TJ is a strike first, strike fast kind of person. TJ
Yes.
is Cobra Kai. TJ is Cobra Kai, 100%. I just don't see it, man. I don't think your fucking Hey Arnold kids got what it takes.
I still think that Arnold's not Arnold himself.
Yes.
Arnold being
No.
the key guy from his own show, I think would be one of the weakest links. But he is a natural athlete. And I do think when push comes to shove, he would be willing to do what it takes to absolutely put those Recess kids out to fucking pasture permanently. Permanent Recess in the sky.
I don't know, man. I mean, when you're talking side by sides right now, right? I think TJ is mopping the floor with Arnold, right? In hand-to-hand combat, you can't even argue that.
Yes, you can.
You can't argue.
Yes,
you cannot argue that. That fucking kilt he's wearing around, dude, he's done for, bro. He's done for. And the dodgeball barrage, dude, don't even get me started on the long-range weaponry the Recess kids are working with, man.
Helga is an absolute snipe with that slingshot.
You might be right, but
she would finish the wolf snipe, just snipe them from a distance. Look, the Recess kids would sing epics of the fear of going into the inner city before even seeing anybody.
You're crazy. Okay, first of all, yes, they're suburban kids. I don't expect a lot from them.
They're soft. They are
but we're
soft.
meeting
And I
on
think
neutral ground. We're meeting on neutral ground.
I think when gritty push gets to shove, I don't think the Recess kids have the gusto to get past.
I mean, we're talking about kids that have pulled off military operations, military level operations. I mean, they've stolen books, They've stolen candy. I'm talking like they put down insurrection in the recess yard. Come on, man. You're talking about a
You know
sniper
who else
versus
did that?
cannons.
Yeah, you know who else did that? Russia. And talk to me about how they're doing in Ukraine right now.
I mean, to be fair,
All the
not
tech
great.
that Arnold has available to them, you don't think that they could just basically drone strike their way through the
I
recess
we're,
kids?
I don't think that I don't see it happening, and I'll tell you why. Because Gretchen is at the top of the game in tech. Top of the game, no questions asked. No one in Hey Arnold is as smart as Gretchen. Literally no one. Not even close. It's a no-brainer. So you have a master tactician. You have possibly the smartest child out there in Gretchen. Your pawns, your heavy hitters, Mikey, Vince. TJ is not only a tactician but also a physical asset for the team. And you're talking fifth graders, you're talking kindergartners, you're talking the whole recess squad. Man, no, man, I don't
I
see it. I see the Arnold kids getting washed.
I don't think so. Uh, and I'll tell you why. Because this is the one thing that the recess kids don't have is heart. They don't
Guns.
have the heart of the cards.
Oh my goodness. Are they summoning the pot of greed? Is that what's happening right now? With my turn, I draw the
I
last
summoned
piece
Pot
of
of Greed, which
Exodia.
allows me to draw another deck card for my deck.
Another two cards from my deck,
Yeah.
and
And you
I
didn't see
summon
this
Pot of
coming.
Greed.
I summoned Pot of Greed.
Oh, the Pot of Greed.
Uh,
Um, yeah, man, I think you're wrong, but we're still friends. That's okay. It's not a big
it's
deal.
yeah, I mean, it's fine if you want to back the wrong cartoon.
I, someone should do a death battle. There's
They
got to be
should.
one out there.
Yeah.
I bet there's one out there.
It's
I'm gonna have the tech guy look it up.
yeah. Uh
Hmm. Oh, who would want to fight? Oh, this is just Gerald versus Vince.
oh, that's
I think Vince is whacking Gerald, whacking my boy. Done for, man.
uh,
Well, um, we'll let the viewers decide. Um, like I we'll take this to the internet.
yeah, the
Um,
internet shall decide. Uh
you, the viewer, have the power. With your powers combined,
you know.
I'm Captain Planet. See, another cartoon. Sneaking them in now.
Yeah,
Street
knowledge is
Sharks.
half the battle. Street Sharks was also a great. They had a great toy line.
I think that's literally like that was like their whole plan all along was just to
It
sell
that was
Street Shark
the
toys.
majority of cartoons around that time were. There's a whole reason why they made the Mighty Ducks cartoon about ducks that use
Were
tactical
fought
hockey.
crime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and SWAT cats.
Oh my gosh, dude! So many good cartoons. Our childhood was full of good cartoons.
I don't.
Um,
So like you don't see things about like. There's some good like cartoons that have come out since then, but just not in the plethora. I feel like we had. I think it's
um,
they just got tablets and stuff now. It's just different. But
they just watch the YouTube videos. I like. I would say one of the shows that I've like seen a couple times that I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Is Chowder. I
yeah, I
enjoy
actually just saw a TikTok of him channeling the power of the social justice warrior.
Love that.
Yeah, there's
I
that
don't, but like,
one. Gravity Falls, I think is one that I've seen a couple times. I was like, oh, that
oh
looks
yeah,
pretty good.
not bad, not bad.
So I think I got
I
it on
mean,
my list somewhere because it's one of those that straddles between like it's for kids, but there's stuff in there for adults.
yeah. I mean, God, we had so many good shows, man. Dude, I, before we before we end this, I just want to say the Powerpuff Girls, straight fucking menaces. Like, it made no sense how often they literally beat the living shit out of people. Like,
Mojo Jojo.
they like on site, like the term people say on site, and they don't. They like I think they mean it, but like the Powerpuff Girls were on site with Mojo Jojo. They
Wasn't
flew into prison. He was in jail already, and they flew in and they beat the shit. His brains were hanging out and shit, man.
wasn't there an episode where he was actually trying to be good and they
Yes,
didn't
and they
trust him, so
still
they beat the shit out of him
they
anyway?
beat the shit out of him anyway. They were the real criminals in that show.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, three little chicks flying around imposing their will on weaker people. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
Absolute. That man, what was their dad's creator name?
Um, Professor Utonium.
Yeah, that man should be
Mhm.
jailed on war crimes.
Yeah, a lot of people think that he's Samurai Jack undercover or like who left the life. I don't
Oh
know.
my god, man.
What a good
What a
show. Yeah.
I need to go back because I need to rewatch it, and B, they came out with that sequel season, and that was supposedly amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dude, I mean, I think that something that we don't really realize is like how great our era of cartoons was.
Yeah. Because it was, especially when you get to like the Samurai Jacks and stuff like that, just
Hmm.
how like yes, it was meant for a younger audience, but the storytelling itself was actually like good.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'll tell you a show that kind of just was great, and then it wasn't. It was great for us, and then it wasn't for for the rest of or for people after us, and that's Teen Titans. The original Teen Titans series was top fucking notch, man. Good writing, good animation, just pacing. It was great,
When
man.
it had a little something for everybody, right? Like they had the
Yeah.
like the fun, silly little episodes, and then they had like the super serious, like undercover with the what was it, the East Titans or the West Titans or
Uh,
whatever they're calling them?
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah,
I
but
don't remember
they,
what they.
and then they had like the really like the dark storylines where Starfire goes to the future, but then they'd have like really fun ones where it was just um Cyborg trying to make like a better race car and like race that one other
Yeah,
tech kid.
it
Like,
was just like like good good wholesome TV, and like it taught lessons where it needed to teach lessons. It was also fun for kids,
yeah.
and like
And
and
then
then Teen Titans Go came out, and it just became like this fucking weird, like I don't know. I mean, so I kind of I read an article or something. The reason that they canceled the original was because they were having a hard time selling the toys. So I'm trying to remember correctly. I think they were having issues because they separate toy sales with like girls versus boys. So there's boys' toys and girls' toys. And um, like something with like girls were bought like wanted like the toys that were supposed to be boys' toys or something like that. And so like I don't know, because of all the connection between these cartoons and all their merchandise, it kind of like derailed the show or something. I don't.
with no, I know what you're talking about, which is wild to me that they were upset that like the wrong demographic was buying the toys, and not
Yeah, that's
wrong
pretty much what it
demographic in
was.
that like the age. It was just like, well, these are toys for the boys. What do you mean little girls want these? Which is just wild to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You know what? I really and I think I've said this before, but I more of want a video game. Uh,
Hmm.
but one that I would love to see make a comeback that was uh is, well, two things. They're both Batman related.
Okay.
Um, is Batman Beyond with Terry as
Okay. Yeah.
Batman.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
rewatching that, I still love it. And
No, for
then in a
sure,
little
man.
bit in Arkham Knight, you get the Batman Beyond suit, and it is
Yep.
the best suit to
It's dope.
play with in that
It's fucking
game.
dope,
And
man.
I just really like with the age of like having Cyberpunk and stuff like that around. Are you telling me that Rocksteady could not release a solid Batman Beyond game?
Yeah, man.
Like
It's
it'd
so
be so
frustrating.
good. And I just want them to bring back the original Batman the Animated Series. Because what an iconic just
Oh my god.
animation style and
That
storytelling. And it gave us probably the most popular female DC character, which is Harley Quinzel. She
yeah,
was created for that show. She was
yeah.
supposed to be a one-off like
She was a
sidekick for the
die.
Joker, and then
Yeah.
she was so popular that they kept her around. And what a great decision. And when you actually look at her comic character arc, she actually has one of the best
Oh yeah,
character
she goes
arcs out of
she's
all
like
comic
the
character.
realist bad guy, like evil redemption character. Uh bar none, dude.
Yeah. And
Her character development is phenomenal.
we don't get a lot of stuff like that, like just really unique just art styles and really just putting something because like this is Batman. They've got modern technology, but everything looks like it's out of like the 40s and or the
Oh, so there's
20s.
actually a
And
podcast about that, about why it is that way. It's for the censors at the time. They couldn't use real gun, like they couldn't use modern guns, so that's why like everything is kind of set in the. It seems like it's the current time, but it seems to be set in the past. So pretty much all the decisions around the styling of that show come from trying to work around the censors
yeah,
to
but there's
maintain like their rating.
there's something about putting it in that kind of era that makes Batman more believable
Yeah,
than
absolutely.
like a modern day Batman. Because like I
Yeah,
feel like Batman is most believable in that type of time period or in a super futuristic Batman Beyond type of time period. And I think that's why both those cartoons worked so well is because it's really believable that you could have in those two instances a billionaire
yeah,
that's just you know
doing whatever the fuck he wants,
yeah
basically.
yeah
Okay, before we wrap this up, I want to know your top five cartoons of all time, and obviously it doesn't have to be like stuff from like way way back, but like if you had to put together a list of top five cartoons that like if you were to have kids in the future and they were like, Dad, what did you watch when you were a kid? You'd be like, oh, this is what I'm putting on for them.
um so we just talked about it, but Batman the Animated Series
Uh-huh.
would definitely be up there. I think that's when his villain designs were the best.
Okay, yeah,
um that's like the best version of the Joker.
I
uh
would agree with that. That's Mark Hamill's Joker.
yes, and it's the best. Just the art style is just so unique.
Yep.
So that's definitely up there. um I would definitely do uh Adventure Time. This
Okay.
is in no particular order, but I think Adventure Time is just it's so weird, but it's not weird in a like you're gonna get concerned with some of the episodes kind of weird like some of the other aforementioned cartoons.
Yeah.
Um
Okay.
yes. So definitely Adventure Time. Um
So that's two, right?
that's two. Yeah. It's hard when you think about all like the great cartoons. It's hard to pick out
Oh yeah, man.
five. Definitely Dragon Ball Z though.
Okay.
Um I need my kids to feel the pain of how one fight can take half a season.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I need them to feel that heartbreak.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and they just how can you not? How can you live a proper life not having seen the Cell Saga?
God, man, what an arc, dude.
Yeah,
Really just solidifies Goku as a terrible father. But
terrible father, and it solidifies Krillin as having absolute riz.
oh, for sure, bro. For sure.
And as a side, how pissed were you when you got later, like way later, and then into like I think Dragon Ball Super, and he has hair? When you realize this whole time
Yeah,
Krillin could grow
he
hair,
could have
and he
grown
just chose
hair the
not
whole
to.
time. Yeah, he was a Shaolin monk. That's why he
Yeah,
shaved it. But you forget because he literally practices zero fucking religion in the whole show. So, he's just a bald
uh,
fucking dude in the
yeah.
show.
uh, and like you just need to see what happens when you're somebody like Yamcha. You know?
Ugh.
Do you remember when I was
What a
beating your
fuck
ass at
boy.
that Dragon Ball Z game with Yamcha?
No, I don't
on deployment.
actually. No, no, I got
Hmm.
nothing. Can't remember that at all. All right, number three was Dragon Ball Z. What
Yeah.
you got for 4 and 5?
um, the original Scooby Doo.
Okay,
It's just
okay,
it's just good classic fun, right?
okay. You got the whole chase scene,
Yeah.
eating Dagwood sandwiches, the grown man
Scooby
getting high and talking to a dog. I
and
definitely could
eating his
see.
dog's treats,
Yeah, yeah.
the Scooby snacks.
Scooby snacks.
And it really
Yes.
teaches you that the real villains in our lives are greedy people.
Yeah, absolutely. Capitalism sucks. Eat
Yeah.
the rich. Um,
And yeah.
fight for the proletariat. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's and this one's a toss up. It's a hard one for me
Okay, okay.
to decide between the two, but I think I'm going to go with not the original animated Spider-Man, but the one that was released the same time as the animated X-Men TV show, The Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would
Definitely good
be
show.
it would be that one.
Okay.
Because you do get some X-Men with it, because there's some tie-in
Hmm.
episodes when it goes
Hmm.
through the whole arc where it becomes an actual spider.
Yes, there is that.
Um, you know, and yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like that is like top tier Marvel animated show,
Okay. I mean, yeah, because like right now, DC has a lock on kind of the animated
which
show
is
slash
frustrating
movie.
because like
Mhm.
they just released, well, not just released, but like a couple months ago they released like a Terror in Gotham or Terror Comes to Gotham or something like that,
Yeah, I
and
think
it's
you were talking
a
about that,
yeah, and it's a Lovecraftian story, but in like the Gaslamp by Gotham like kind
hmm
of time period, or Gotham
which
by
is
Gaslamp.
cool.
Yeah, and it's really really good, and it's like Batman, the detective at his best. So they can
Yeah,
produce stuff like that, but they can't give me a decent live action movie, which is
it's not.
frustrating.
Let's not go into that right now.
Yeah. All right. What about you? What are your top five?
Okay. I knew this was coming, and I have prepared nothing. Um, I would say um, the original. So the Avatar: The Last Airbender is definitely just one of those shows that I could watch over and over again, just
Solid,
on
solid
repeat.
choice.
Um, I think that um, let's see. Oh boy, so many good choices. There's you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Ben 10. Um, the original Ben, like the because there's like different Ben 10s. I don't know. There's like a bunch of different
Yeah.
series. So like the OG Ben 10 definitely was just had us in a fucking headlock, dude. I was so pumped to watch that show. Um, I'm gonna see your Batman animated series, and I'm gonna raise you um, the Justice League, actually the Justice League Unlimited series, just because it gave us uh, bald, um, um, oh my
Lex
goodness,
Luthor?
I am no, I'm having like
Because he was
uh,
always bald.
he's always been bald. It gave us the bald John Stewart,
Yes.
Green Lantern, which to me is like, so, like for me, John Stewart is Green Lantern. Now, obviously, there's like 18 million fucking Green Lanterns from Earth. If you know anything about, you know, the lore of the show, of
He
the comic. But
he really balances out that Justice League well though, because they
yes,
always paired him up a lot with Flash.
yes, and they were
Um,
like perfect together.
yeah, and just his like serious like military demeanor.
Yeah, because
Uh,
in the show um, he is a marine. He was a marine engineer,
mhm.
and so he it has like that very military background. So yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm gonna. So I actually just finished Young Justice.
Okay.
Um, and I'm not gonna add to the list. It's honorary mention because I fucking love Young Justice. So fucking good. Um, I'm gonna say the Clone Wars. Um, just because it just ties episode 2 and 3 together so well because there's so much that happened between episodes 2 and 3. And some people say it's bad storytelling to have filler in between. But there was such,
It's
because of
it's
where Star Wars had to go with episode 3, like it had to make that leap. Um, and
it's
so,
not bad storytelling because nothing that not nothing, but what happens in the Clone Wars is not like super integral to the main story that you're telling with the Star Wars movies, but does a really good job at expanding that universe in which it takes place in.
well,
Um,
it's important because it tells us. So from episode, we're getting on tangent again. Episode 2 to 3, I'll just say this: Anakin is like a totally different person.
mm.
It's like this. It's you're like, oh wow, this is kind of strange. But then you watch the Clone Wars and you see all the things that he goes through in the you know over the span of a couple years during the Clone Wars, and you're like, oh, now it totally makes sense. Not totally, but it makes a lot more sense why he made the choices he made and what he did. So,
Well, it gave us Ahsoka Tano. It gave us,
hmm
a couple of tokens. My only, and it's a small gripe, because I definitely excuse other shows for this. It's kind of not slow in the beginning, but
it
it
is. It's very
feels it's
cartoony,
yeah, it's very cartoony, and it takes a while to actually like find the story that it wants to tell and actually get into it.
right? Yeah. Um, I mean, that's definitely, I think, a legitimate critique because it's very much for kids in the beginning, but you can tell like something happened for the writers, and that changed significantly. In following episodes, I guess. So, what do I got so far? I have Benton, I have
Avatar.
Avatar, and Justice League Unlimited, and the Clone Wars. So I need a number 5. What's a good just? I'm trying to go through like all the you know kids shows. I mean, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, um, Disney, Disney cartoons. Uh, I think I'm just gonna go with. We just watched so much Dragon Ball Z. I think I'm gonna make Dragon Ball Z my number 5. It
Yep.
makes sense.
We found one we could agree on.
Hey, we had to find common ground at some point, so
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
all
glad
your
we got
choices
there.
were, I think we can agree that, all your choices were very solid choices, and it's a solid, solid top five.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well, this has been it was very rambly there at the beginning. We went a lot of places, which I love. It's great because that's the whole point is for us to hang out, um, and just have conversations. Um, so I'm glad that we had the time to sit down and do this. It's always fun. Um, but it's time. It's time for the Bears to call it a night. And with that, I would like to say goodnight to our viewers. And thank you, Grizz, for another well moderated show between two people.
I'm great at it.
Yes, you are. Cut.